A table full of boxes can only mean one thing. I've got a brand new build plan for today, and I needed a couple special helpers for this one. And while Rambo works on the unboxing, let's introduce special helper number 2.
Hi everyone!
Let's do this thing. Today's video is brought to you by the all-new Fractal Design Define 7. Whether you're building a gaming desktop, workstation, or home server, the Define 7 has your needs covered. With an integrated fan hub, flexible cooling layouts for both air and liquid-cooled systems, optional vertical GPU mounting, and support for up to 14 hard drives, there's no limit to what you can build. And if you happen to find that limit, there's always the Fractal Design Define 7 XL. Click the links down in the video description to learn more. And for the first time ever, welcome to Cat Computing. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm your co-host, Myth.
Awesome. So we have a special build plan for today. A couple of months ago, we were walking through Costco and they were selling these replica, mid-size arcade machines. She wanted to pick one up, but I wasn't really keen on spending $300 or $400 on a machine that played one game. So I figured we might as well build one ourselves. So I did what any really cool dad would do. I jumped onto eBay, bought us a flat pack arcade machine, as well as all of the internals we need to get started. So what do you think we should do first?
Let's start unpacking.
Awesome.
While drinking our root beer.
While drinking our root beer, that's right. Can't forget the important things. First and foremost is the arcade machine itself. I picked this kit up on eBay for, I think it was about $140, so pretty reasonably priced for what we're getting here. This is an example of one of the components that we're getting. This is the button board that's going to sit on top. So you'll see more of this as we go along. But as far as what's going inside the arcade machine, most people, when they're doing things like this, anymore the popular thing is to do a Raspberry Pi. Well, again, I wanted to do something a little bit more outside the box, and I wanted to be able to play some old school PC games on this as well. So I found this. This is a Zotac mini home theater PC. I believe it's part of their E-series line. This is an i5 4200U mobile processor with an NVIDIA GTX 860M. So it actually has plenty of graphical horsepower in a still nice and small package.
Yep, that's right, but I did not know that. Can we not edit that one out, please?
We'll see. Probably the best part about this is it was only $199. Now this is a bare bones kit, so we do have to add our own SSD and RAM. Luckily, I had plenty of that on hand. We're using a Kingston KC 240 gig SATA drive, as well as 8 gigabytes of whatever DDR3 I had laying around. As far as the buttons and the arcade sticks, those were pretty much Mrs. choice over here. We got a whole bunch of multicolored LED buttons and 8-way joysticks. This kit is a do-it-yourself kit and hooks into a couple of USB PCBs that will plug right into our system, and it does work in both Windows and Linux.
Mm-hmm. It does.
In an effort to keep everything as clean as possible, both inside and out, I went ahead and bought a couple accessories to pass through ports from the inside to the outside. What she's opening in that really pretty silver box right now is a pass-through power plug. So I'll be able to use a standard PC power plug to run the power strip inside of the arcade machine.
And this box is extremely pretty, and I love it.
She likes the box more than the parts inside, I think.
Yes, I do. It's super shiny, and you can see yourself in it if you look straight at the box.
I also bought an additional USB 3.0 pass-through port to bring a USB port outside of the box. That means we'll not only be able to use the joysticks and buttons built into the main machine, but add our own externally if we need, such as a trackball for playing Golden Tee or maybe some extra controllers.
Yep. And I love Golden Tee.
She does love Golden Tee. That's originally why she wanted an arcade machine, was so she could play Golden Tee. And of course, you also need to hear what's coming out of the arcade machine as well. So I picked up this really inexpensive pair of USB-powered speakers, and those will mount right above the marquee inside the arcade machine.
Now that sounds perfect.
That was punny. I've also got a whole bunch of different USB cables for all the internal and external connections we're going to need. And of course, we need something to see everything on.
Yep, which my dad will go get that. And the thing that we're gonna look at everything on is this computer screen.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, in arcade machines, a lot of people nowadays use widescreen monitors, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but a lot of games, well, they're just not made for widescreen. I wanted the proper either 4:3 or 5:4 aspect ratio. So I actually got onto eBay and paid way more than I've ever paid for one of these monitors. This is a Dell 17-inch 1280 by 1024 monitor, and it is 100% refurbished. There is not a single mark on this, and it really does run like new, so this should be an absolutely perfect match for our system. All right, now that all the machine introductions are out of the way, let's get this thing together. So that took a little bit longer, I think, than either of us thought that it would, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and it totally did.
It took us about 2 weeks to get everything together. Not necessarily a problem with any of the parts, it just took a lot longer than I originally anticipated. And I did modify a couple things along the way, so let's talk about those. So first and foremost, the kit itself. If you remember, the wood came flat packed from eBay for about $120. Overall, I'm not necessarily impressed with the quality of construction on it. Everything does go together, and it is a very solid kit. However, it's more of a low-density fiberboard, so it's definitely not the most durable kit that's out there. I would have liked to see more of an MDF style construction on this, and some of the cam locks on this are a little bit loose. They don't really grab and hold as tight as they should, especially on the bottom panel. The arcade controls went together very easily inside of this kit, and I'm actually really impressed with the quality for $40 that I spent on Amazon. One thing that I'm really impressed with was there's actually keyboard mechanical switches at the bottom of these buttons. So there's actually blue mechanicals giving you a little bit of a tactile feel at the bottom of the button press. As far as the original parts for this build go, I did swap out a couple of items. Well, one in particular, and that was the speakers that I was planning on using. I realized that the speaker kit that I had bought was significantly below the quality of everything else inside of this kit, so I upgraded with a pair of 4-inch Boss speakers and a D-Rock 15x15 watt amplifier. And now the sound is, well, absolutely rocking inside of this cabinet.
Oh, and if you ever buy those, keep the volume down.
Yeah.
They're freakingly loud.
Freakingly loud, that's right. Now, when we started building this, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do for the vinyl layover and the trim work, but I will say I absolutely knocked it out of the park with the carbon fiber and neon green, and Miss is absolutely a fan of the green tea molding, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
As far as construction inside of the cabinet goes, it is just a blank canvas for whatever parts you want to install into it. That being said, even with the Zotac Z-Box that I put in there, it's still very tight quarters. Rambo's asleep on the bed. So you do want to plan out your build very carefully. Even with the small components that I had picked out, there's not a lot of room to make a mistake. And in fact, I did end up putting my joystick controllers a little bit too close together and had to separate them out later on because they impacted the motherboard. Now, I mentioned earlier I wasn't entirely thrilled with the construction quality on this cabinet, mainly in the cam locks, and no other place is that more present than in the back door. Well, I say back door, it's more of a back panel that likes to fall off all the time. So I had to do some significant modifications to that system to keep the back door in place. Now, what they were attempting to do was build a hinge out of the cam locks on the back door. They put 2 cam locks, one on either side of the bottom of the door, and then just a cabinet hook up on top. The problem is, as soon as you pulled open the cabinet, the cam locks came with it, meaning the door just fell out. What I did to fix that was buy some cabinet hooks and then just mount the door into place, meaning it just pops in and out now, and that seems to be a much more secure system of doing it. Very similar, the arcade panel itself is also using a hinge based on cam locks. However, the difference is the weight is not forcing the cam locks to fall out, it's actually forcing the plywood to sit on top of the cam locks. So this one gets a pass, the back door, not so much. Now for a couple items that we changed on the arcade kit. First and foremost, I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't come with a marquee faceplate here. It was just an open hole exposing the speakers. I ended up cutting a piece of wood and then wrapping this all as one single piece with the carbon fiber, and I think the end result is pretty darn good. But I do wish they would have included something stock so I wouldn't have had to go through the trouble of getting this square, because it's also a 1/16 of an inch off square from side to side. And that's not me, that's the kit. I had to cut the board a 1/16 of an inch off square to make sure it was flush on both sides. The other thing I added was an admin control panel right here under the joystick panel. It not only has the power button for the PC mounted on it, meaning I don't have to open the back door to turn the PC on anymore, but it also has a keyboard emulator with some joystick buttons, meaning I can emulate some keyboard presses inside of a MAME arcade machine rather than having to hook a keyboard in to change all of my settings. The biggest bit of fabrication I had to do was on the monitor mount and the frame around it. Now, the arcade kit does come with a monitor mount, however it is at a fixed angle, and the angle was pretty terrible for a Bartop Arcade kit. So I had to drill a couple more holes, move the cam locks, and then move the top of the monitor forward. However, that meant that the slots for the plexiglass frame, that it also didn't come with, would no longer work for putting a frame around the monitor. I then added some wood brackets on either side of the monitor and then built this frame and also carbon fiber wrapped it, as well as trimming it with some car door trim, which turned out absolutely fantastic and is probably my favorite feature of the arcade machine. With the rounded edges, it really does give it more of a CRT-like look, even though it's clearly an LCD.
So Dad, I hear you have some questions for me.
I do. What was your favorite part of building the machine?
Oh, my favorite was totally putting the buttons in and seeing you make it so they light up.
Yeah, this was really cool. I actually didn't know that these were light up buttons when I bought the kit, so I was really happy. Again, especially for a $40 kit off Amazon. These have been a fantastic set of arcade controls. What was your least favorite part about building?
My least favorite part, well, I don't know. I pretty much liked all of it.
You liked all of it?
Yeah. I don't have a least favorite part. I loved doing all of it. But the thing I most loved was changing the speakers and dancing around to the music Dad put on his phone and while it was turned all the way up.
Yep, we were testing out the amplifier and cranked the music up, and we had a little dance party back in here. And last but not least, what were your favorite games on here?
Metal Slug and Arts Fighting because they both required fighting.
I am training her up in some literary classics.
Want to know my most favorite?
What's your most favorite?
Metal Slug!
Metal Slug.
Every time I play, I ask to play Metal Slug.
Yep.
And now that we're done with Dad's questions, I have some questions for him as well.
Ooh, okay.
What game did you like the most of playing with me?
Playing with you, Metal Slug, and I'm really impressed at how good you are at that game.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. How impressed were you on my first time of playing Art of Fighting and I won?
Yeah, she beat me the first time.
Yeah.
Not my proudest moment, but also my proudest moment. And on that note, I think we'll end this video of cat computing. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you are interested in any of the parts I used in this build today, make sure to follow the Amazon affiliate links down in the video description below. Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing, and if you're interested in financially backing the channel, make sure to look me up on Patreon. Link is also down in the video description, and you will get exclusive access to my Discord server. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Cheers, miss.
Cheers, Ram.
Cheers, Ram. And since I want to avoid seeing how quickly I can get kicked off of YouTube, we're not opening a beer today. In fact, we are opening a Rogue Soda Small Craft Root Beer. So this is from our friends over at Rogue Ales and Spirits in Florence, Oregon.
Smells good.
Yeah. There you go.
Looks a lot like Coke.
It does. This is a root beer. Have you had root beer before? I don't know if you have. What do you think of it?
Good.
What do you like about it?
I just like the taste and the scent.
The taste and the scent. So it has really good aromatics, you would say.
Yeah. I'm having seconds.
Me too. That is really good.
I know. Can I have thirds?
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. No, I got this on Amazon. How much did I buy this on Amazon for? Let me look that up. Forage.
Yeah, he's gonna look it up real fast.
All right. Round 2 for this video is Rogue Small Batch Citrus Cucumber Soda.
And we're about to try it. Yeah. Does it taste sort of like Coke?
No, this is going to be nothing like Coke.
Well, it sure looks like Coke because Coke is very fizzy.
Coke is very fizzy. It kind of looks like 7-Up or Sprite.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
That's good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. A lot of cucumber in that, but very tasty.
Yeah, like, I think they actually put too much cucumber.
A little too much cucumber?
Yeah, that's the part I don't like about it, but I pretty much like the taste part.
Yeah, good.